All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down some questions or some things that you should ask or know before joining North American Senior Benefits, also known as NASB. So if you're a new life insurance agent and you're thinking about joining this agency, these are some things that I would recommend asking prior to joining. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this, starting with the first thing, which is commission level, right? So obviously, your commission or how you get paid is one of the most important aspects of being in a life insurance agency, obviously. So we need to ask the upline or the agency recruiting us, what is our commission level and how does this work? So this is definitely something I would recommend asking either the person recruiting you or the recruiting manager or whoever's like your direct contact at NASB. So here's some questions to ask. What is your starting commission level, right? From what I've seen online and from what I've heard talking to agents at NASB, start at roughly 70%, but the downside to that is that you are buying leads, so it's definitely something to consider. But asking like, what is your starting commission level, right? What are you going to get paid when you start out? The other thing too is, how do you get that commission raised? So if I start at 70%, is there a way to get it higher? How do I get higher? Is it based off of recruiting? Is it based off of this? Is it based off of that? How is the comp structured so that I know what I need to do in order to, climb the ladder? The other thing, what is the max commission? So what is the most you can possibly get commission-wise working at NASB, and what does it take to get there? And then also asking, what is the commission per product, right? Because sometimes you'll get paid differently for this carrier or that carrier or whatever. Usually the commission level agency will tell you is the highest commission that you get, but you also need to ask about, what do I get on different products, and just ask them to show you like a comp grid for the different carriers. It's very, very important. And oftentimes, again, your commission will depend on like which carrier you write or what product it is. Another thing to ask about with NASB, and this is something to take into consideration, is do you want to do face-to-face or telesales? If you want to do face-to-face, this is primarily what NASB focuses on. They are mostly a face-to-face company. I've talked to a lot of their agents. One of the agencies I used to work at was like in direct competition with them, and I sold face-to-face. And so we'd run into a lot of NASB agents like all the freaking time. So if you're going to join NASB, make sure that you're comfortable doing face-to-face, because this is their primary business model, is direct mail leads and face-to-face, which is not necessarily a bad thing if that's what you're looking for. If you are looking for telesales though, I would ask NASB what their telesales model is. From my experience and my knowledge of the company, they are more focused on face-to-face, and telesales, they don't have nearly as much infrastructure built out for that. So most of the training is going to be focused on face-to-face, which they're experts at doing face-to-face. They're very, very good at this model. But if that's not something that you want to do, then you should definitely consider that when joining, right? The other thing to ask about is training. And this is one of the most important things when it comes to joining an agency, is your training, right? What type of training are you going to get? Because especially as a new agent, learning the products, learning the sales, learning underwriting, all these different things. Like when I first got started, I used my upline as a crutch because I didn't know anything. And so I had to learn all these different things, and your trainer, your upline, is going to be your source for that information. So ask about what type of training you're going to get. Is it going to be like video training? Are you going to get one-on-one training? Are you going to get support if you're like in the middle of application? Is there someone that, I can call if I'm trying to sign somebody up and I don't know what to do? These are things that you're going to need in the field when you're on the phones or when you're at the doors. You're going to need these things, because otherwise you're not going to learn, and you're not going to be able to get better, and you're not going to be able to succeed. So training is very important. The other thing is the leads, right? So what type of leads are you going to be working? Are they direct mail? Are they Facebook? Are they data leads? Are they live transfers? What type of leads, right? Ask if they're age leads or are they new leads. Are you working brand new leads? Are you working age leads? How does that work? And then what is the cost per lead, right? What are you going to be paying per lead? And I would factor that in with your commission, right? So for example, there's agencies out there, mine included, that will give you like free leads and we have lower comp. There's other agencies that will give you like really high comp, but you have to buy leads. And it seems like, from what I've seen online and from talking to people, NASB is kind of in the middle. So I believe they like subsidize their leads, and then they start you at like mid-level comp, which is like 70%. So ask about the leads for sure. And I believe they do mostly direct mail. This is what I've seen from talking to agents and from my research as well. So your upline, right? Who is your upline? This is very, very important, and most people don't really consider this or think about this whenever they join an agency. Your upline is going to be the person that trains you and shows you everything about the industry, right? This is going to be the person that is teaching you things. They're going to be training you and showing you what you're going to know. So if your upline doesn't have experience selling and they don't have much experience in the industry, they're not going to be able to teach you a lot about the industry. So definitely ask, who is your upline? What is their experience selling? How involved are they going to be with training you? And what is your upline's sales experience? Do they have experience selling or do they not? Also asking about the commission. So how is it structured? Is it more focused towards recruiting, or is it more focused towards production and selling? And if you want to be in a model that's more focused towards recruiting and NASB is more focused towards production, then you should probably go somewhere that's focused on recruiting. If you want to be somewhere that's focused on production and NASB's is more focused on recruiting, then you should go somewhere focused on production, right? Pretty simple. There's different models based off of what you want to do in the industry. And then also ask, like, are they pushing you to recruit early on? Do they want you to try to bring a bunch of people in? What does this actually look like here? The other thing to ask about is a release, right? So if you decide to leave, like let's say you say, hey, I've joined NASB, had a great time here, but this is not the best fit for me. Will they release your contracts if you don't have any chargeback debt, right? This is something that you need to ask about, because if they aren't going to, that's something that you really need to factor in, because basically when you're an agent, you're putting your contracts with different IMOs and with different agencies. So if I decide to leave, like let's say I join, XYZ agency, I say, hey, I want to go to, ZYX agency or whatever. And I say, hey, I want to leave. They basically have to transfer my contracts from this company over to this company. Now, some companies won't do that for you, meaning that you have to wait 6 months to a year before you can move your contracts over and start selling insurance again. This is what happened to me when I first got into the business, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people, and it really, really sucks. So make sure that whoever you join, either you're 100% sure that you want to stay with this company for life, or they're going to give you a release when you decide to leave. So make sure to ask that. So one other thing I want to touch on before I get into some of like the biggest issues that I've seen people have whenever they join NASB is do a ride along before you sign the contract and decide to join. And I think NASB, they let you do this and they encourage you to do this, which I think is a very good thing. But make sure that you do a ride along, get in the car with somebody, see what it's like selling face to face with NASB before you go ahead and do that. So I highly recommend doing that. The biggest issues that I've seen, and some of these things are with any agency, like if you get stuck with a bad upline, whether you're at NASB or Symmetry or FFL or any of these companies, if you have a bad upline, your experience is going to be bad. So make sure that whoever you are being recruited by, whoever's going to be responsible for training you, is responsible and knows what they're talking about. So that's a huge thing. The other thing is direct mail leads have been dropping in return rates, and NASB's primary business model is focused on direct mail. This is like their primary focus is mailers and sending out direct mail leads. So this is what they spend most of their time doing. And so with that dropping, a lot of times I've seen people that run into issues with working mostly direct mail because, the rates are lower. They have to drive really, really far away to go to their area. And, sometimes they can be questionable leads, right? So something to keep in mind with direct mail leads. And then also, if you're looking at doing telesales, NASB is primarily face-to-face, so that would be something I would consider as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's NASB. Hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you did, leave a like, hit the subscribe button for more life insurance sales content like this to help you in your journey. And if you want to learn more about our agency, where we have all of the resources that agents need to make 6 figures over the phone, they don't have to buy leads. We do free leads. Click the link down below in the description. I have a whole presentation that explains how that works if you guys want to learn more about it. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.